The movement in Vanguard is a little bit different than it used to be. The slide canceling isn't quite what it used to be, but there's a couple of tricks to make it work really, really well. Let's dive into my settings and take a look. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is gameplay, slide behavior on tap. We're going to go ahead and set automatic tack sprint on. From there, you're going to go to combat keybinds if you're on PC. Go ahead and hit down to sprint, show more, and tack sprint on your shift key. Now this lets you just have a little bit more freedom in movement and things like that, and helps you control this a little bit better. On the crouch slide, I have this set to control instead of C, so that's easier for me to reach with my thumb. Since you're probably right-handed, it's probably easier to reach with your pinky or your other finger there. If you're on controller, you definitely want to set this up a little bit differently. So let's look at my controller settings. So when it comes to the controller settings themselves, this is the way that it's looking here. I've got 6.6, tactical flipped. This allows me to have my thumb on the stick to slide. And basically how everything else looks. So now we're going to go over to gameplay. Automatic sprint on auto tack sprint. And slide behavior on tap. So now I take my sprint. And that works fairly well. However, I obviously am not a big controller player, so I'm sure you guys can do a lot better than I can, making this look a lot more smooth. And the bunny hopping really does kind of work the same way. So you aim up, hit your jumps. You know, it's not nearly as smooth as it is for me on mouse and keyboard. Again, I'm sure those of you with scuff controllers and things like that will do a lot better than I do. So I'm going to grab my mouse and keyboard again and get back to the rest of the movement. So to do the slide cancel in Vanguard, it's a little bit different. You really have to be a little more methodical with your button presses. So let's go ahead and run. Slide, slide, jump, and then tap the shift for your sprint key again. Slide, jump, and push the sprint key again. Slide, and tack sprint. Significantly faster than it is with the standard setup. So let's run the standard setup and see how that looks. Slide, and I have to double tap now on the sprint key instead of single tapping to get my tack sprint to go. It still works, but it's a little more clunky and a couple more button presses. Just a matter of it's not as fluid as you'd want it to be. So the big key is using the slide cancel to your advantage to get some easy kills. So let's start with just an easy slide. The slide around the corner, and you see I end up way out in the open here, body totally exposed. However, if I take my run, I can kind of get around that corner, and I can easily tuck against this, or use my advantage to stop and circle back around if I need to. Now, we also have the option of a few other things here, like the bunny hopping. When it comes to bunny hopping, all you want to do is just time your jumps. So this is what we're going to do. Do you see how I can keep moving on those jumps like that? With the guns, if I want to do it this way, is I want to stop here and then jump around, right? You can get a few extra hops that way. But the big thing is just getting that timing so you can swing wide if you need to, and keep swinging wider. So you're really kind of breaking the camera. See, I can kind of really move. That's a lot of distance really quickly. So in this scenario, let's say we want to get behind that truck, and we know somebody is watching this doorway. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit our bunny hop at the right time. And then I can just kind of bunny hop right into that, being ready to go, and being ADS'd. As you see, I cover quite a bit of distance with that second hop. You can get a third hop as well if you can kind of time it right. 1, 2, 3, but the third hop is usually really, really small. And you still have that option of just kind of using that slide cancel. It's a little bit rougher in Vanguard than it is in Modern Warfare, but it still kind of works to your advantage. The whole thing there is just being a harder target to hit. So, speaking of which, let's talk about drop shotting. So, drop shotting is something that really gets a lot of hate. So, you see, I'm ADS'd, I prone, and I lose my sight there. So, the advantage here is going to be to go edit, We're going to want to go acrobatic. So what acrobatic allows you to do is to stay accurate during your drop. You notice that the marker in the middle of my screen is significantly smaller. So what I can do is just kind of spam that key and be hard to hit. Actually, it stays fairly accurate to a pretty good distance too. So let's go ahead and hit maybe the back of that truck. It's not completely accurate, but it definitely works to your advantage. Now, that's just one thing that you want to throw in there, because if you want to do one of my favorite things, which is, say, a slide cancel into a drop shot, right? That's really where your advantage comes in. Because as you come around that corner, you can drop down instead of bunny hop. You know, and actually have a real big advantage there to hit your shots and be a really small target. Now, Vanguard also has a few movement things that are built into the game that are kind of new. Let's have a quick discussion about those. So then we have other mechanics like mounting. Mounting works a little bit differently than it does in Modern Warfare, so let's take a look at how this actually works. So if I walk up against this box, I now have the blind fire button. I shoot that. That works great. Now if I want to go over top of it, ADS, and then I can move to the side, hit my shots, you know, and be totally cool. And keeps me fairly well controlled and fairly safe without exposing a ton of my body. And that's kind of the biggest key with this whole movement thing. It's just not getting hit. So one of my favorite things to do too is to kind of combine all this together to do kind of a back lunge, essentially. A lot of times what you'll notice me doing is I'm flipping my camera around and getting, kind of a little more distance on my jumps. The momentum from you flinging yourself is what really allows you to get distance. Is flicking your camera around can really make a big advantage and a lot of changes in your movement. And it might just look flashy, but actually it gives you a lot of advantages in it allows you to move a lot faster than other people and keep just kind of acting like a bouncy ball, and just not getting hit. And that's really what matters here. But guys, I hope these quick little tips helped you guys out. If this video helped you guys out, give it a like. If you like me, give me a subscribe. Have a good one, guys. See you around.